Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another Sword of Convallaria video, and today I'm actually going to film two separate videos about gear systems in Sword of Convallaria. On one hand, you have your armor, your weapons, your trinkets, those first two gear slots. That's what this video is going to be about. Then you have that third gear slot for Terra Whispers, and those function a lot differently than the regular gear does in this game. So this video, we're going to talk about weapons and what you should level. Should you be leveling only legendaries? Should you level your epics? What should you do with duplicates? That's what we're talking about today. So let's jump into game for a second. And to give you some context, I am rank 30 right now, account rank 30, and I'm to the point in the game where I really need to be investing into my gear to keep pushing progress as fast as I want. So what gear should I invest in? Well, I started doing some math, and let me just tell you, with your gear, which is your armor and your weapons, there is one clear-cut winning piece of advice. Invest everything you have into legendaries. Like, before you even start thinking about leveling up your epics, make sure you don't have a legendary that could also fill that spot and do the same job, because your return on investment when you are investing into epic gear is terrible. Let me show you an example. So there's a breakdown feature in this game. You can click breakdown and select a piece of gear, and for an epic piece of gear, it'll give you some of this blue potion. Now you can use this blue potion in the exchange shop, and I'll show you the exchange shop here in a second, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you also, if you level a piece of gear, you will get some of the resources you put into that gear back. So take this precision forged dagger. If I click enhance and I take this thing to rank 10, it'll cost me 1,415 of my radiant powder and 1,132 Elysium coins. Okay, say I did that. Say I leveled that thing to 10, and now I go to breakdown and I select the level 10 piece of gear to break down. I will get back 141 of the dust and 113 coins, which is 10% of what I put into that gear. 10%. That is a terrible return on investment. And while at those early levels, like your level 10 and your level 20, that's not a big deal because maybe you're sitting on a whole bunch of radiant powder, gear gets very expensive to level the further you go. Take this pendant halberd that I currently have on Gloria. I'm just going to level this thing to 40 real quick. Watch how much it takes to get from 30 to 40. If I take this from 30 to 40, 27,300 of my radiant powder and 21,840 of my Elysium coins. So that's a hit, and that's only from 30 to 40. It's just going to get more expensive as you go. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this because this is a legendary piece of gear and I want to invest in it. But if you have to level epic gear, you need to, but just know you're not getting anything back from it really. Now, should you ever level epic gear? Let's deal with that next. Yes, you just might have to. Like, let's say you play through the game and the game will hand you some legendary pieces. You can see I have 5 right here and a chest to select a cornucopia weapon. So this is what the game has given me so far. What if I didn't ever get a spear? What if I was like, you know what? My Gloria needs a weapon. I've never found a spear for her. I'm going to go ahead and level a sharp spear. Go for it. Do it. If that's what you have to do to get over the hump and keep progressing the game, go ahead. But maybe only level it to like 20 or 30. And when it comes to duplicates here, this is where I think you should just use your duplicates to dupe out the epic gear. Like, I could take this ceremonial knife right here, hit enhance, and I could level it with the gear stat level up button and go select this level 10 one I have and star level this thing up. So I'm going to do that, and you can see it will at least enhance the passive on it. This is now a 3-star weapon, gives it some more stats, enhance the passive, and makes it at least a little more comparable to a legendary piece of gear. And you might be thinking, now hold on, can't I just, break down those duplicates and go use them in the exchange shop? You can, but the exchange shop for epic gear in this game is not very good. Let me show you. If you go to the exchange shop right here, the gear exchange shop has 2 currencies. One, the radiant crystal dust that you get for breaking down epic gear can only be used for other epic gear, Elysium coins, or radiant powder. Now, there's value in Elysium coins and radiant powder, like, don't get me wrong. And maybe once you've got a whole bunch of epic gear and you don't care about leveling it anymore, break it down, come in here, get yourself some radiant powder and Elysium coins. But you cannot trade it for legendary gear. And this is a mistake that I made. I saw that those pieces of gear were in this shop and I was like, oh shoot, I'm going to break down all my epic gear and trade it for random legendaries. No, you can't do that. You have to break down legendary gear to get legendary things right here. Let me show you. So we'll go back to gear for a second. Inventory, gear, breakdown, and I'm obviously not going to break down any of this epic gear, but if I unlock this and click it, you can see I'll get 150 of the things to trade for legendary gear, but I'm not gonna do that. I want every piece of epic gear, legendary gear I have right now. So TLDR, if you have to level epic gear, go ahead. Just know that you're not getting anything back on it. Oh, Orange A from the future here, forgot to add something. If you get duplicate legendary pieces of gear, what should you do with them? Now, that's a good question. It's a problem that I have not had to come across yet myself, but you have two options. You can use your duplicate legendary piece of gear to gear star level up. It will give you a little bit of a boost to the main piece of gear, right? Like if I was to get a second pendant halberd and I star leveled it, you could see I would get, instead of HP up 2%, HP up 4%, and before taking single target attack, gain 10% attack and defense. That doesn't change. You'll also gain some stats on the weapon. So that's an option. However, you could just also level it. If you had 2 units on your main squad that both used a halberd, I would just level them both until I got another one. Then I'd be like, okay, maybe you got a better one for one of the characters, then maybe consider consuming it for a dupe. Just know if you consume the dupe, you are getting 0% of the things you invested into it back. So the most efficient route to go with weapons especially is to consume them as a duplicate. Just know it's gone. You made your one stronger, but you lost a legendary piece of gear. When you're talking about armor and trinkets, this is where I really think until you have 5 or 6 or 7 pieces of this gear that you're leveling, I wouldn't be consuming any of the duplicates yet. I'd just be leveling them up. Yes, consuming a duplicate will boost the stats on one piece of gear, but I only have 2. Like, I've played this game as hard as I can, and I only have 2. And if you're talking about like where you can farm this stuff, we are a long way away from being able to farm this in the Crossing Worlds. Right now at level 30, I can go to weaponry trial and I can attempt difficulty level 35, which is stage 4. Stage 7, which is, I can't even get on the screen yet, is where you can start getting legendary drops, and they are rare drops at stage 7. Those stages are also very hard to play, and then 8, 9, and 10 are really hard to play. And like 9 and 10, where you have the best chance of getting legendary weapon drops, that's a long way away for a lot of us, guys. Like, we're talking a long way away. So getting through the game right now, I would suggest leveling any legendary pieces of gear you have, not duping anything out yet, and using those dupes to power up another character for now until maybe you can start farming more, or you just don't have the need. Like if I had 2 true lenses, I would absolutely just keep them both for now. Maybe not level them both immediately, but keep them both for now in case I wanted to use both ever. Okay, back to what I was saying in the video. Now, where can you pick up some legendary pieces of gear in the meantime? Say you're like, look, I want to invest in legendary gear, but I just don't have much. Okay, I'm at account level 30. You will get some legendary gear in this game randomly by pushing the different systems. Push Fool's Journey as far as you can. Push the PvP as far as you can. You will just get some random rewards. Like, let's jump into PvP here for a second and look at this. If we jump into Clash and you go to quests, you can see right here, random legendary gear for 100 points. Luxite right there, random legendary trinket right here at 180. So I'll get that today. That'll be a big one for me. 220. You can see there's random legendary gear in here. So just keep playing the game. Vulcan's already done a whole video about where you can find legendary pieces of gear. I'm not here to remake that video. Just know I have what you saw. I have not purchased any of it with real money. Caveat to that, I did purchase Cole's Promise, which gave me Cole's daggers and the cloak that Cole is wearing, but the rest of it is just stuff I've randomly caught. So fully invest in your legendary gear and go easy on your epics. If you have to level your epics, you have to level them. Just know you ain't getting that radiant powder and those Elysium coins back. Okay, that's it for the gear side of this. Now, I'm going to do a whole nother video on the Terra Whispers because this system works a lot differently. So go check that video out if you want to know about Terra Whispers.